If you've never flown with a bike before, the process can be a lot to figure out. Over the last 15 years, I've traveled all over the world with my bike. I want to use my experience to demystify this process so you can figure out the best solution without making the same mistakes I did. There's nothing quite like the experience of riding or racing in another part of the world on your own bike. It's also a very potent peacekeeper for family trips. The options I'm about to describe depend on these three factors. First, the type of trip you're going on. Is it an A to B, like a bikepacking trip, or are you staging up out of one area for an event? Which airline you're flying on, and your budget. The first decision you'll have to make is, do you ship your bike or do you fly with your bike? Shipping your bike is a great solution if you're going to be landing in one location and flying out of another, like if you're bike packing or bike touring. Why? Because how are you supposed to carry a bike box if you're traveling by bike? So that brings us to flying with your bike. Every airline has a different and continually changing set of rules for checked baggage, and specifically bicycles. Back in my day, simply saying the word bicycle at luggage check would trigger a special handling fee of up to $300 each way. To avoid these fees, I've said my case was filled with art supplies, camping gear, or trade show equipment. The more boring the answer, the less questions they'll ask. While at the same time, some airlines don't have any special fees for bicycles at all, which is why it's critical to look up the luggage details for the airline that you're flying. In general, airlines base their luggage on two main factors: weight and size. While 50 pounds seems to be a consistent number for weight across airlines, size and dimension, on the other hand, is all over the board, with prices for baggage ranging from free to well over $100. Each airline deals with this differently, and I would say that there's always an inherent risk to shipping or flying with your bike. But if packed properly, this can often be avoided. And pro move for avoiding losing your luggage: put one of those Apple AirTags in the case with your bike. That way you'll always know where it is, even if they don't. It's at this point that I'd like to remind you to check out the EBD Gear Shop. If you like cycling culture and cease and desist level logo rips, check out the EBD Gear Shop. It's the greatest place on the internet. Now the question becomes what to pack your bike in. For this, there are three main options: a cardboard bike box, a hard case, or a compact soft case. Packing these can range from as simple as taking pedals and wheels off to as difficult as extracting cranks and removing your fork. Let's break down these three options. The cardboard bike box. They're free to obtain. Packing is medium to difficult, with no instructions. They're often larger than checked bag size and weight limits, resulting in oversized baggage fees. It looks like a bicycle, which can also trigger fees. They're physically cumbersome and hard to move to and from the airport. They often don't fit in an Uber or rental car sedan. When it's time to box it back up, you're gonna need packing tape. Good luck finding that last minute in Istanbul. But there is no need to store the bike box when you're not traveling. The next option is a hard case. Prices of these can range from $500 to $1,000. They do offer the greatest protection for your bike. They can be one of the easiest to pack, with instructions. Like a bike box, they are big, often over the size and weight limits for checked baggage, resulting in extra fees. They can look like there's a bicycle in it, which can trigger more fees. They commonly do have wheels, which makes transportation around the airport much easier. But they do run the risk of being too large for common Uber or rental car sedans, especially if there's more than one. And a hard case takes up a chunk of space at home when you're not actually using it. The third solution is a compact soft case. Prices of these can range from $400 to $700. Because they're small, packing of these can range from medium to difficult, although often with instructions. Still offers surprising protection for your bike. Unlike hard cases and bike boxes, these can often fit under the checked baggage regulations for size and weight. These are the easiest to move around any airport, often with wheels and extra carrying straps. and these will fit into nearly any Uber or rental car. And storage of these at home is a happy medium, as they often pack up into themselves. All right, I've got some answers to some questions you may have and some additional wisdom for the hell of it. Cargo hold pressure will not destroy your tires or your hydraulic brakes, but deflate your tires anyways for that extra packing space. Leave your multi-tool with your bike. If you carry it on, TSA will take it. Those greedy frame spacers are a cheap, smart solution to protect your frame in transit. In some instances, it can make sense to take off your rear derailleur or rear derailleur hanger. Weigh your bag before you go to the airport. If you have the extra space and weight, I suggest adding your helmet and shoes to your bike case. Keep a pair of rubber gloves, a rag, and some lube with your bike for breakdown and assembly. When you get to your destination airport, check the oversized luggage zone for your bike, even if you checked your bag in as regular luggage. I know this is a lot, but trust me, it's still worth it. Now let's do a real-world example of what I would do to put this knowledge into practice. Say I wanted to fly to Kansas City for the Unbound Gravel event. It looks like I'd be flying Alaskan Airlines. Because I know this is an event, I won't be using a cardboard box, and I don't own a hard case. Specifically because I don't want to dedicate that space for storage. I'd rather use it for another bike. I personally use a compact soft case because I know that this thing measures out to 71 inches and I can easily get the weight below 50 pounds, which means I can often check it as regular luggage. With that said, the Alaskan Airlines website currently says that it will waive all oversize and overweight fees for bicycles, which means a hard case or a cardboard box would have worked in this scenario. But I still prefer a compact case for transportation to and from the airport, and for storing the case at home when it's not in use. And the last thing to do is check out this video so you'll know what kind of adventure you'll have when you take your bike with you when you travel. Big Basin. It's a wild one.